Another all-out Cedrine Kerbel downhill attack. Some poker in the GC favourites. A surprise winner who you may be familiar with from previous videos. This is from Bourg-en-Bresse to Chambéry. We're finally in the Alps, but the first 100 Ks is flat, and then there's a category 3, 7%, and then the Col du Granier, which is 8, 9 Ks, 5.5%. Not that hard. Big break went with a lot of satellite riders. I mean, Brand was just going for the stage win for Van Anrooy. That's fine for Little Trek, but Justine Herkira was clearly under strict instructions not to pull, and that she was there to help her GC leaders, Gigante and Kim LeCourt-Pinard, if needed afterwards. SD Works also have a lot of Kopecky in here, the world champ. FDJ Suez have Marie Lenné, the French natty champ, in there. So a lot of the big GC teams, they're represented. They're not really going for the stage win. There's Maeva Squibon, yesterday's winner in the break. The peloton was pretty chill. Before the climb started, they kept the gap around 4 minutes. On the first category 2 climb, quite a hard climb, peloton didn't shatter. It stayed pretty big. The break actually did that climb faster. You see Bauernfeind giving Niewiadoma, I think, an ice sock. And on the descent, it was reasonably technical. Probably the most technical descent of the day. Kopecky and Van Anrooy nearly get away. 500 meters to go on the climb. Sarah Gigante is in a bad position for her, deep in the group. She does move up a few spots before the descent starts. And I was thinking, RSD Works with Lorena Wiebes going to whack it, because they've done that with Wiebes herself in some of the Spanish races earlier this year. Gigante's immediately on a gap. She's got no teammates around her because Herkira's up the road, but SD Works come off the gas. You see, look at the shape of this group descending. It's not in a single line anymore. Van der Breggen was able to drink on this short descent, so clearly they didn't have the gas on anymore. Gigante doesn't lose any more time, and even though she was on a gap, everyone just sits up in the valleys. So we'll see if someone loses the podium or a GC position in the next couple of days with some much harder climbs, and regret that, because Gigante gets to come back for free. She didn't have the safety blanket of Justine Herkira around her there. In the valley, the breakaway starts to poker. Even though the peloton wasn't pacing that hard at that point, they lose a minute. And then on the climb towards Granier, Schweinberger on Phoenix de Koenig starts to absolutely smash. The breakaway begins to lose its mind. I was like, they're completely throwing right now. They're throwing away the stage win. They're literally not riding. They lose 2.5, 3 minutes, quick smart before the Granier. Reinbeck anticipates, and the gap to most of the break was 1 minute 35 by the base of the Granier. If any of the GC hitters go, they might be caught, but Maeva Squibon is in here. She's in the UAE Team ADQ jersey. She's following for the time being with Ruth Edwards and Meyering up the road. She takes a couple of pulls, then she attacks Van Anrooy with 5.7 Ks to go. She seemed to pace it pretty well. Gets across to those two, sits on for a bit, lets them pace. Behind, the gap wasn't changing. It was 2 minutes 40. In fact, it had gone out a bit. Squibon, just as Van Anrooy and Dygert came back, hits Meyering and Edwards again. Meyering is just able to follow her, but isn't able to relay. And from here on out, to be honest, it looked like a formality for Maeva Squibon, unless something came out of the peloton, which was happening. Castelline put on the pace for Phoenix de Koenig. It drops their teammate Pug Peterson, but importantly, it drops the yellow jersey Kim LeCourt-Pinard, as well as the white jersey Julie Bergot. She's on a gap with quite a few Ks left on the Granier. Squibon, who I must say has a really good style on the bike, descending, the way she attacks there. Just a really classic climber and stage hunter, it seems, in this Tour de France. But when Royakkers attacks, now it's serious business. It gets put in a line. Cedrine Kerbel's dropped. Lebu's on a gap shortly. Muzic is on a gap. PFP, Niewiadoma and Vollering follows seemingly without too many issues. Gigante, of course, their second wheel. Now the gap to Kim LeCourt-Pinard is going out 39 seconds. They're also getting across to the satellite riders, so maybe FDJ or SD Works will use Kopecky or Lynette, who are being caught, to pull to keep the yellow jersey behind. For Squibon, it's still looking okay. 1 minute 30. She's a good descender. She didn't lose any time on the descents in her stage win yesterday, but Vollering goes. She attacks just before the summit, doesn't really get any separation. Lebu paces for a little bit, and then about 100 meters, 500 meters later, Vollering goes at the top of the descent. Niewiadoma follows. PFP goes to third wheel. Maybe she was trying to put Sarah Gigante under pressure. The problem is, they've caught Justine Herkira, her teammate, just over the top of that climb. We're about to do a 15K, 18K descent, but now Gigante has that safety blanket with her. Could Kim Lecourt-Pinard come back 35 seconds? And Squibon does a beautiful descent again, barely loses any time on the descent to a GC group that was motivated in part and then kind of stopped. At this point, Vollering was pushing, nearly made Niewiadoma miss a corner. Gigante's on a gap, but Herkira's behind her so that she knows when she's dropping. Then on the flatter section, she brings her back, and now she's shouting at Gigante, on the flatter straight sections, move up in the group. Get further in the group so you've got sliding room through the upcoming corners. Gigante does try to do that to the best of her abilities. But yeah, AG Insurance Soudal, they made the right call. Keep Gigante in the front group or the main GC group, and then Kim Lecourt-Pinard's a better descender. She can come back herself, maybe, and she was making inroads. It was under 30 seconds. And then the GC group kind of stops. I mean, I know not all of them have teammates, but yeah, they let the yellow jersey just come back almost for free on the descent, which was curious to watch. As they got towards town, it actually got more technical. Niewiadoma hits this bump or gutter in the road. That causes her to brake just a little bit before this roundabout and take a different line to Kerbal. She's off the wheel, and that's all it takes. Kerbal sees the gap, hits the accelerator, and it's really twisty this last 3K. Squibon navigates it no problem. Kerbal absolutely launches it, but no one's catching the UAE rider. 2 wins in a row, 2 French breakaway wins in a row. Could it be a 1-2 in back-to-back days with Kerbal catching up to Ruth Edwards, sprinting on her on the line for the Bonies, and it's a group without Sarah Gigante, who got put on 11 seconds, rounding out the top 10. But Squibon wins ahead of Kerbal, then Edwards, Van Anrooy, Vladacek, KLCP, Van der Breggen, Vollering, Niewiadoma, Finney, Fisher, Black. Here is what Squibon had to say after the race.
Can you speak about your feelings after this second victory in a row?
Yes, it's just incredible. This morning I say, okay, I will attack kilometer 0. It was at the beginning a joke, but finally I did it. Yes, it was just an amazing day. At the beginning I thought my sport director in the card could be maybe angry against me because I finally attacked kilometer 0, but I think now she's proud of what we did today.
In terms of GC, a few changes. Gigante drops 1 spot. Kerbal moves up 2 spots with the handful of seconds. Well, not handful, like 20 seconds she took on Gigante. Music and Lebu are up a couple of spots because Peterson lost a lot of time. She crashed, lost like a minute and a half plus on the descent. She's already dropped on the climb. Big climb tomorrow, Col de la Madeleine, full stage coverage. I can't wait to watch it. I'll see you with the recap then. Ciao, ciao.